Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Friday, June 20th, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin and Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. Faith-based, progressive, pluralistic, and queer. There is no streaming TV show quite like this in the world. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. Pride Diversity Pride will be held in August, and Pride Fort Lauderdale will be held next February.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we urge you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Queer God Squad discusses many genders of Judaism. While non-binary, gender-expansive, and transgender people are under attack in this country and others, it may be encouraging to learn that the ancient Jewish understanding of gender was far more nuanced than ours today. The Talmud, an ancient and authoritative Jewish commentary or religious teachings and traditions, contained no less than 7 gender designations, including male, female, androgynous, having both male and female characteristics. There is a tumtum, which is lacking sexual characteristics. There is a category for one identified as female at birth, but does not develop secondary female characteristics in puberty, and a category for one identified as male at birth, but does not develop secondary male characteristics in puberty. And finally, one born male, but who does not develop secondary male characteristics in puberty due to being surgically altered, such as the Italian castrati, who are castrated so they would keep their pre-pubescent high voices for singing. Male, female, someone who seems to have characteristics of both. Someone who utterly lacks clear gender characteristics. People who develop differently from most. People who have been surgically altered, and that's from ancient religious commentary. One wonders if Jesus was already aware of these distinctions when he said some are eunuchs by birth, those who choose to be eunuchs for religious reasons, those who are celibate, and those who are made eunuchs by being surgically altered. Eunuchs were often seen as a third gender, and Jesus suggests that experience can be from birth and isn't limited to physical alteration. In a time when trans people are being relentlessly harassed and demonized, it is comforting to hear that Jesus and the Jewish community that nurtured him were approaching the question of gender with grace and wisdom long before our society ever existed. You know, in our society, I think we are so hung up on this binary thing. It has to be male, it has to be female, it has to be one, or it has to be the other. And there are so many different ways to consider gender, and it actually kind of gives me hope that back in the day, back in ancient times, people had that broader knowledge that they affirmed and accepted people regardless of their gender for exactly who they were. So it invites us to maybe step away from that binary thinking and be more open and affirming.
Yeah, Elohim is one of the names for God in the scripture, and Elohim is plural. It's the gods, really. They're naming it as one deity, but the deity's name means the gods, and it's gender inclusive. It's masculine and feminine. So one of the names for God in the Hebrew Bible is gender inclusive, and so that they even at that level understood. People who were Trinitarian, a lot of Christians are. It's the official dogma since the 4th century, but if you can embrace that incomprehensible doctrine of these three that are one and each has a role, but they're all the same, and if you can even pretend to get your head around that, you can probably work out how gender is not fixed and binary, and yeah, if God's self is not fixed and binary, if God is not unitary, if God can be three things that are the same thing, and each bit has its own job, but it's all the same. If you can even pretend that makes sense to you, trans is not going to be a stretch for you. This is a thing you can get your head around pretty easily, probably. Nature seems to be pretty fluid. I'm remembering there were this gay couple penguins in New York. And I think there was even a sort of a more expansive story in I think it was Scotland. Maybe they were the same penguins and they float around. I don't know. But the Scotland one is at mating season. They're all hooking up and they mate for life. The penguins. So apparently there was an odd number, and so there was these two boys. There was no literally chick for them to be with, and so they just paired up. And they did what everyone else was doing, seemed natural. And so now they're married for life. These two boy penguins. And then whatever the gestation period is later, these hens are having all these eggs, and they don't have any eggs because that's the North way.
It's not going to work.
But they found a like sort of an egg-shaped rock. I think the zookeepers did, and they gave it to them. So they sat on it, and then sure enough, when all the eggs were hatching, apparently more than one chick at a time is overwhelming for them. And so apparently one of the couples did have 2 eggs. And so there was this sort of unwanted chick out there. And so they gave the zookeepers gave the extra chick to these boys. And so they sat on a rock, they raised a kid, they mated for life. They just adapted to their circumstances and lived like this happy family. This is nature. This is, this, and of course, there's a lot of gender expansion in nature anyway. I mean, this is just one sort of fun example because we got to look at it. It was televised, it was advertised. But there are lots of bisexual creatures, and I don't mean like they like this one, that. I mean, like worms. Like if you rub this side, that's the male and the female side. If they do this side, just 2 male sides. There are literally bisexual creatures in nature, and there are creatures that change gender at some point. And so nature is fascinating and is expansive and is fluid. There were Native American cultures, where people who didn't fit into a binary, there was a place for them, especially people identified as male at birth, assigned male at birth, but were really very culturally feminine. They had a place for them. Basically, that person, sort of like a eunuch, but without any surgery, could dress like a woman and be part of a family. So the biological woman would be a man's wife, a primary wife, and this sort of trans person would be a secondary wife. She had to have her own house, and the man had to have the resources to take care of both of them equally. But this trans person had her own place in the family, and it was accepted in the society. This was just normal and okay. And so, various in nature and in various cultures. And in fact, a lot of homophobic and transphobic cultures today are so because of colonization. That British or Portuguese or French or Spanish cultures, and so cultures that used to be more open and more expansive and more fluid, adapted these Western Victorian era prejudices. So this hatred of the other is not necessarily unavoidable. And so it's that it is. So that ancient Judaism recognized this as 7. Other cultures did too, and nature does. And I think it is just chosen ignorance that we don't pay attention to that and let it make us more kinder to people who are different.
I'm just amazed by my takeaway from this. I'm amazed by what we don't know. And as nature and things continue to evolve, there is so much more out there to yet evolve. And I think when we try to put that context that God can only do this or that, we limit what it's all about. So I would just love to look. We have this lens with which we can look back and see how we've evolved. I would love to be able to have that lens to really look forward and see where are these folks going to take us next with all of the stuff that continues to evolve, and with the development of other genders that are out there. It's just more. I'm almost on this little thing now. I'm rewatching the episode of Lost in Space, and so it's like I'm almost in this thing now. There has to be more out there. This is not the end of the story of what we know these constructs to be. And so let's just go and explore without the religious trapping, without the religious baggage, without the limitations, and just let people be, and let them just be who they need to be to become who I believe they were really meant to be.
There we go.
And that's today with the Queer God Squad. Before we go, we want to invite you to consider a wonderful travel experience. Join Divine Science Everywhere's charting a new course, Cruise for 5-day cruise aboard MSC Seashore, starting at just $299. Departing on November the 2nd, 2025, this all-inclusive getaway features free bus transfers from Ocala, the Villages, and Leesburg, plus free Wi-Fi throughout your journey. Enjoy open bar access for only $99, both on board and at Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. You'll explore Nassau and Paradise Island, the Bahamas, and relax on MSC's exclusive island, Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. Special perks from the Happening Out Travel Club include private happy hours and exclusive dining events. You can book your spot with a $199 deposit. If you haven't heard of Divine Science, you have heard of what it's about. If you like Oprah and Chopra, Louise Hay and Michael Beckwith, spirituality that is based on love rather than dogma, or you are familiar with Silent Unity and the Daily Word, then you already have a pretty good understanding of Divine Science, a New Thought school of thought that has been around since 1888. This nonprofit 501c3 trip is provided at reduced prices because of the charity fundraising educational mission of the Travel Club. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, connection, and spiritual renewal.
Get ready for an incredible journey on the ultra deluxe MSC Seashore. This 170,000-ton, $1 billion ship offers 5-day cruises from just $299. With free transfers from Ocala, the Villages, and Leesburg, getting to Port Canaveral is easy and convenient for you. There is more. You can upgrade the experience with our $99 open bar package and enjoy unlimited drinks, cocktails, coffee, and more for not one, not two, but every day of your cruise. Your special Travel Club package also includes free Wi-Fi. This MSC Seashore cruise will take you to Nassau and Paradise Island. You also enjoy the pristine beauty of Ocean Cay Marine Reserve, the world's top-rated private island experience. It's a slice of paradise waiting for you. Plus, your open bar access extends to the exclusive Ocean Cay Island too. So, if you dream of sipping on drinks and unwinding on stunning beaches, this is the day for you. When you purchase the $99 bar package, you also receive complimentary Wi-Fi for all 5 days, so that you can share every unforgettable moment with ease with the world. You'll also enjoy exclusive onboard events with fellow travelers, from private happy hours to special dinners. It's all included just for you. Last but not least is the ease of booking this trip. You can secure your spot with just $199 deposit and then pay just $49 a month. Why wait? Book your cruise today for the adventure of a lifetime. Call today to book your dream journey on the MSC Seashore Cruise.
I invite you to like and share this episode on your social media, and I also welcome you to find Sunshine Cathedral on Facebook or Instagram, and to visit sunshinecathedral.org. There you will find worship services, newsletters, ways to donate or request prayer, and you can watch some special videos featuring our bishops and amazing guests from around the world.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.